But casual swearing was as natural to her as an affectionate pat on the back, which Otto took this to be. He marveled at her fortitude and noted that it was entirely in keeping with her indomitable character. "Anyway," he reasoned, "you can sleep on the plane. It's only 18 hours. 18 hours from here to Burbank?" questioned Elizabeth Peters, the Queen's mother. "I could thumb a ride faster on Route 66. Otto was prepared with an airline itinerary. Flight 3 bounces in St. Louis, Albuquerque, Las Vegas, and God knows where else. Then it's over the Rockies and finally into Burbank. "That's what I call a milk run," said the Queen. "Is there any way to land sooner?" "We could set her down in the Grand Canyon," Otto joked. "Any more bright ideas?" He was respectful but never sycophantic. As the small royal group was hustled into the limousine that would take them to the hotel and then to the airport, a uniformed woman urgently rushed to them. "We just got a tally, Mr. Winkler," the woman said. "Miss Lombard raised $2 million today. That's a record." "It's just the start," Carole responded. "As soon as I can get my lazy-ass husband to go out on the road with me, we'll beat Hitler with a checkbook." The uniformed woman's face froze. She wasn't sure whether to laugh at Lombard's wisecrack or take offense at its vulgarity. Or maybe she was mulling the possibility of meeting the Queen's husband sometime down the road. "Thank you, soldier," Winkler said. "I'm sure Jimmy Fiddler and the other columnists will be just as overjoyed as we are to learn that. We'll take the opportunity of telling them so you won't have to bother. Thanks for the swell send-off." On the way back to the hotel, a stern-looking Mrs. Peters turned to her daughter. "You can't talk like that," she lectured the star. "This isn't one of your studio crews that knows you. This is your public." "Talk like what?" Carole said, the picture of innocence. "Lazy-ass husband," her mother repeated. "You can tell any of us that Clark is your lazy-ass husband because we all know he isn't, and we also know that it's a joke. But suppose some local reporter asked that girl what you said to her. It'll be in all the papers. I'll say something." Winkler's thoughts were elsewhere. Even though the free-spirited Lombard wasn't an MGM star, the studio had attached Winkler to her Bond tour to run interference. He was Clark Gable's personal publicist, and they were friends, and Gable knew Carole would be in good hands. Back in Culver City, Gable was still shooting Somewhere I'll Find You, and the studio's publicity chief, Howard Strickling, was ever vigilant about Lombard's loose lips. As much as he admired her spunk, he cringed at her lack of discretion and didn't want any of her zingers to compromise his own press work for Gable. Otto was weighing whether to tell Strickling about Carole's gaffe or wait to see what happened in print. He was confident that no family newspaper would print such a vulgarism, but the Hollywood gossip mill was something else. It would wait. The Douglas DC-3 382 Sky Cub propliner was scheduled to arrive from New York in time for a 4 a.m. departure from Indianapolis. Lombard, Peters, Winkler, and their party joined the passengers who were already aboard the transcontinental flight under the piloting of 41-year-old Captain Wayne C. Williams. If Williams had any foreknowledge of his illustrious passenger list, it would not have impressed him. The New York to L.A. run was old hat as far as he was concerned, and celebrities had been turning from train to air travel ever since it had been commercially offered in 1934. Williams had been with TWA since 1931 and had logged thousands of hours for them, many at the controls of the DC-3. There was one curious asterisk on his record, however. In 1933, he'd been fired for changing his flight plan without authorization. He'd been restated after a hearing, and thereafter stuck to the rules. The flight, though prestigious, was nevertheless a physical ordeal. It would take up to 24 hours, more if the weather interfered and caused layovers. Many people still preferred the train, which, while slower, at least afforded them comfort. In addition, movie stars took the train when they wanted to get noticed. The press routinely haunted the Pasadena Railroad Station looking for celebrities, and the celebrities routinely obliged with a smile and a wave from the end of the Pullman car. It was an honorable bargain. Their faces sold papers, the papers sold their faces. In an era when each of Los Angeles's half-dozen papers put out several editions a day, by the time the train chugged from Pasadena into downtown Union Station, the extra would be on the streets touting the celebrity's arrival. But publicity wasn't on Carole's mind. She wanted to be back in Clark's arms, or more specifically his bed, and the plane was mightier than the train. Flight TWA-3 took off as scheduled from Indianapolis and made its wee-hour stops along the way, including Albuquerque, New Mexico. When they landed there, the station agent boarded the plane. "I'm sorry to inconvenience you," he told the groggy passengers, "but I'm afraid I need to requisition your seats." "What's the problem?" Otto stepped in. "No problem, sir," the station agent said, "but we have several servicemen who have to get back to Los Angeles, and under War Department rules, they're allowed to displace civilians on commercial flights like this." "Do you know who this woman is?" asked Bess Peters.